All right, y'all, we about to get into it, but before we do, we want to thank Lena Way. That was special. And now we're about to get into it with Madeline Nelson. Now, let me let y'all know something. She's definitely validated, so I ain't gonna talk much about her, but let me tell y'all know me, I always say I don't do interviews, I have conversation. So, short story about Madeline Nelson. I promise I won't be long-winded, but yo, y'all ever heard of like the Apollo Theater? Okay, so the Apollo Theater, yo, James Brown, right? One of the illest, and when I tell you James Brown is ill, I'm talking about Michael Jackson was looking up to James Brown. Didn't James Brown throw something in the audience one time at the Apollo Theater and they threw it right back at him? You ever heard that?
Oh, and I see, I don't,
Yes,
I
that
don't know.
happened. I just want to show you how ruthless the Apollo Theater, like they don't play. And
That's a fact.
Madeline Nelson was an intern at the Apollo Theater, and her job was for the culture. She had to book everybody. And she literally was the pulse of the street. She had to bring back what was hot. So she booked the Fugees, like ain't nobody knew who the Fugees, Biggie Smalls, right?
Yeah.
So that definitely validates Run That Back. So let's get into it, Maddie.
I have a feeling we might only get into this one topic today because I'm gonna jump from what I love, what's happening in pop culture, to something that you love, what's happening in politics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So recently,
I mean, I love politics. I love studying, you know?
Yeah.
So my daddy was a minister. My political savviness probably comes from my uncle Raymond Joseph, who was the ambassador for the US. And him and my uncle has let's just say like the French version of what is considered like the New York Times. It's called IET Observateur. So you're raised with that stuff, like it's embedded in you. So
Yeah.
That's sort of like my love. So my friends are probably like, no, man, we don't do politics, man. Politics is politics. But at the same time, it's important to be aware of what the hell's going on, you know what I mean?
I agree. So Clef, recently, presidential candidate Joe Biden finally selected a vice presidential candidate. This makes me, as a Black woman, feel extremely proud. He selected Kamala Harris. I can remember when I was not a supporter of Kamala Harris. I, like many other people, took offense to some of her history with criminal justice. And I never got educated on her stand in recent years and the things that she's done in recent years. So I wasn't caught up. And even when she was a candidate for president, I said to many people, I'm not a supporter. And those were my reasons why. But then people started to educate me. People started to educate me on her career from the beginning all the way up to now, and the things that have changed and the things that would make you, as a voter, change perspective about her. So this I was very excited about. And one friend in particular, somebody who's a friend of yours as well, Nathan, who works with the Alliance for Safety and Justice, schooled me on her support with Alliance for Safety and Justice and what they do for inmates who come home and have to now find their way in society, and even what they do for those who are still in prison. And we've even done some work with Alliance for Safety and Justice. So understanding her allegiance to them was a big deal to me. And so right now, I am extremely excited about the idea that there could be a Black woman in the White House in January of 2021. But again, this is your space. When it comes to our conversations, this is the space where I don't know enough.
No, I think it's, but look, I mean, you know a lot. Come on, Professor Small's daughter, don't try to play me out here. You know a lot. But what I am gonna say is, in my family, we have Democrats, Republicans, Independents, and you also have like socialists. I'm from Haiti, next to Cuba. So there's the debate which happens is, it can get vicious.
Right.
Right? Because, I mean, the other day, someone in the family who is, a friend of the family, he got into a big debate about Donald Trump. And he was on the side of Trump. And he was going against my brother, one of my brothers, who was a debater, Sadek. And they were going back and forth. Like when I tell you it got intense, it got vicious, right? But this is what the Constitution is really based on. Like you have to, the problem is, we not against the debates. Like you are supposed to, not everybody gonna be on the right, not everybody gonna be in the left, not everybody gonna be in the center. So my show is a show that welcomes the platform for everybody. I don't want anybody to think like I'm trying to sway your vote. Anyway, the bottom line is you have to vote, because when you look at, and don't be like, yo man, is my vote gonna count? Dude, all you gotta do is look at Martin Luther King. Look how he was, that legislation, you know what I'm saying to you? Yes, your vote's gonna count. People has, look at Brother Lewis, who just passed. Yes, it's going to count. But to your point, the reason why I started off like that is because the idea of a woman is very historic. And the idea of just period. So at the end of the day, I understand reform. And if you follow the way politics work, there's people that you can go back in their history, right? Because I'm gonna give you the real talk. So remember when she was debating with Joe Biden?
Yeah.
And remember that was a moment. She closed Joe Biden in with that moment. The bus segregation moment, y'all remember that? She closed them in with that. Like Biden had to adjust the shoulders a little bit, right? And she's like, I don't really come to play here. I come to handle business. So now you say, but hold up. He chooses her, right? This is what I keep telling you. Don't tell me y'all not gonna get into politics. Y'all gonna get fucked up, then this is what happens. And you don't wanna, you don't wanna have where your debate is so deep that you are not even willing to change policies.
Right.
Or you're not willing to go with reform or with different things. So I think this is what makes the Constitution dope. You gotta be willing to constantly keep evolving.
Right.
So I literally feel that as we are evolving, at the same time, we're going backwards. And the reason why we're going backwards is people don't want us to evolve. Like, look at President Obama, for example. Now, once again, I'm telling you again, in my house, you got people that's for Obama, you got people that's not for Obama, right? I'm just showing you how it works, right? Well, y'all already know I'm for Obama, but I'm just saying, right? But look at President Obama, look at Michelle. Incredible documentary,
right,
by the way. So, but the White House changes colors. Remember, and the White House changes colors, right? And as the White House changes colors, we all celebrate Pride, right?
Right.
Think about that, right? But I want to take you back 30 years ago. Did people even think, as much as people was fighting to get equal rights in different situations, that this was gonna happen? No, people had to constantly keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting until it happened, right?
That's right.
So at the end of the day, this is why your vote is important. And the excitement for a woman. I have a daughter, she's 15, and this is the example that I would definitely like to set on her end. So very excited. At the same time, this is Wyclef.
This is why I knew we was only gonna have one topic.
No. I'm gonna okay. I'm
He's
gonna
like,
close.
ooh,
No, we're gonna have another
politics.
topic. No. I'm gonna close it off by just saying it's important that that we keep our eyes on the ball, and that everyone do not get distracted. And I always say to everybody, sometimes I feel that you are putting too much, I think the word in English is called emphasis. Is that a word? Like you
Too much
emphasize.
emphasis, too much emphasis.
You're putting like too much emphasis on a president. And what does that mean? That emphasis, you should be putting it more in the house. And what that means is presidents are gonna come, they're gonna go, other presidents. But if you could just do me a favor, y'all, watch a little bit of C-SPAN, because then you'll understand how the floor works. And it's so important that when you talk about reform and the things that you want changed, it's important that you look at who your senators are, who your governors are, who your mayors are, who your councilmen is. Okay, I'm done. I ain't gonna really say anything no more, you know what I'm saying? We good.
Listen, I loved getting into that, and I knew that that was gonna be an exciting topic for you.
But if Joe Biden needs some boom bap, I got some boom bap for him.
That sounded like a promotion.
No, not at all. It's some ganja. I have the ganja for your man.
Boom Bap by Wyclef.